Hey, friends, if you got this part of the video, you've caught the live unedited edition Home Gadget Geeks Thursday night, 31st of July. Holy cow, we're already through July 2025, 7 p.m. in the Central Time Zone. If you caught this any other time than that, you've caught the recorded version on our recorder page. It's okay. Hang tight. We'll get started here in just a second. Goofing around. Gavin Campbell is with me tonight. Gavin, welcome.
Glad to be back. I saw the email come through. I got excited. I'm like, I'm back on again. I'm back on it.
Glad you get excited about it.
Me and TJ, we go at each other. I'm like, yeah, TJ, I'm back on again. He's like, I was just there.
He was just here. Did you see his sail rig that he set up in his backyard?
Oh yeah. We always share projects with each other.
Oh, good.
So he keeps me up to date with everything.
It's a good project. That's a really good. It was a good looking. It looked in the pictures, it looked a little short, like it looked too close to the ground. But then he's like, well, those are 8-foot poles.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You're, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But I wanted to do something like that, but I haven't gotten to that point yet.
It'd be nice if you could do that over an area of your pool where you could both get in the shade and in the pool at the same time.
I was thinking about that, but then I also saw like these floatable umbrellas. You throw them in the pool and they float alongside you, and I was like, that's so much easier.
It is.
And I have a cantilever umbrella, like the one that kind of stretches out over top.
I do.
Yeah, what I did is there's a base for it that has a little pedal on it, and you just step on the pedal and it lifts it up and puts the wheels out. And then you can roll it next to the pool and then just step on it. It lowers it down again. It holds it over the pool.
Yeah. It's like having wheelies. It's like having wheelies on your yeah, mine's fixed to the deck. So we cantilever and bring it out. But man, we have used that thing a ton. It's pretty great.
Lifesaver.
Yeah. Those are pretty good. Is it warming up for you? Are you getting any pool time?
Oh my God. Like I haven't even had to turn on the pool heater. It's so hot up here. Last week we were getting like some crazy temperatures. I mean, I don't complain too much because I see people that are complaining in Texas and stuff. And when we compare temperatures, I have nothing to compare to them. Right? But the humidity is what kills us up here, right?
Yeah, same here. We have similar weather patterns, and so it just gets really muggy.
Yeah. So I jumped in the pool a few times. It cooled down today, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's good. All right. Well, if you're listening live, I see Joe out there. Hey Joe, good to see you. If you're listening live, not too many at the moment. We'll give it an extra second. Joe's checking in. Good evening. Good to see you, Joe, as well. Well, we had a couple weeks of really hot weather and it just broke. And friends are like, "Oh, it's cooling down." I'm like, "Don't think it's fall. Like, it's still only August. Like, we still have 5 good summer events."
Exactly.
You're gonna think, "Oh, fall. Oh, maybe it's an early fall." No, it's not an early fall. We've got hot weather all the way into October. That's the way it goes now. So you guys might cool down earlier than we do, just being that much farther north. I mean, we have hot days into October. I mean, September can have a 90-degree day just as much as July or August could. 90 is pretty hot. Do you guys do Fahrenheit or do you do Celsius?
We're Celsius up here. We're Celsius. Like, it's weird because when you say 90, it means nothing to me.
No, I know.
Like, I can't associate
50,
it. But
is 90 and 50 the same thing?
No, 90 is like 30, roughly. Like, I have to do the math in my head, and they say subtract 30, divide by 2, right?
I can't do that.
So you get really good at it.
I'm going to bring up a calculator. 32 would be 90.
See, close enough. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, and we had the other day, it was 98. So let's just get the calculator. 98. That's 36.
Yeah, I think we broke 100. I think Fahrenheit at one point for a day or so, but
37. If you get 37, 38.
I think I've recorded that on my backyard. What do they call it? Station.
The weather station.
Weather station.
Yep. What do you have?
Oh, what's the brand? It wasn't expensive. The EcoIt.
Okay.
And there's a popular one out there, and the name is blanking right now, but they look very similar. It does wind, it does rain, it does all sorts of things. So And it's not too expensive. Integrates with Home Assistant, etc., etc.
When you say not too expensive, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think when I bought it was maybe 130 Canadian.
Okay.
So I
Some 99
mean,
US.
yeah,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Not
But
anymore.
if things are, yeah, all right. It's that one's the newer version. I have an older version
of the gadget, home assistant or home automation stuff you track. Has there been anything that hasn't been affected by the current either inflation or tariffs, whatever those
everything's being affected.
everything?
As much as the companies try to not make it affect them, it will affect things like sales. Like when they have like Boxing Day sales or whatever, they might not be able to have the same amount of sales because they can't take that cut, right? And some things like we used to get on Amazon is now like not available on Amazon in Canada. So the US Amazon has it. It's just they're not getting up here. Yeah. And right before we started this show, Trump signed another, what he calls it, another, not agreement, but another one of his things he signs. I'm having a rough time with words today, but he just increased tariffs to Canada 35%.
Oh boy, for Canada?
For Canada, 25 to 35. So it's gonna hurt.
Boy. Yeah. Shoot. Well, we're paying for that. We pay for the tariffs, right? That's not you guys paying for it. That's us paying.
Yeah. But everything's gone up in price. It's just been insane.
Well, I do have one thing that's actually I think going to go down in price. We'll talk about it here on the show, so I'll bring it up when we get in there. Joe, good to see you. There's somebody else out there. Drop in chat. Let us know you're there. Surprised not to see Ken. It's summer. Folks are on vacation, so I don't worry too much about.
I start vacation tomorrow.
Nice. You going anywhere? You doing
anything? No. I'm just we just have local things we're doing in the area, and get some things I want to get done. So nothing exciting.
Well, I mean, but sometimes you just need downtime.
Yeah.
I took a week off at the end of June. I totally screwed it up. I thought I'm not going to do any work. Because typically I take maybe 10 days and I would work in the mornings, get my work done. And then I take the rest of the afternoon off, go goof around. Right. And that's fun for me. This time I was like, I'm not going to work at all. That was awful. It was horrible for me. It was terrible. It's like always worried about how much work I was getting behind on, and I'm like,
yeah. That's the worst part, the day back, that one day back. But I usually take a week in the spring and a week in the fall. And usually it's like, I'll use that week to do all the pool opening and the gardening prep and all that stuff. And then the fall is the pool closing and all that stuff. And I just take my time and I do other things in between during the week. So,
no, it's good. It's a good call. Yeah. I usually get my car serviced. So I get my car serviced the end of June, end of December. So every 6 months, whether I need it or not, it gets serviced. I used to be able to get my physical during that time. So I go get a physical in June, end of June. That got all messed up. And we have these crazy rules in the US about it has to be exactly a year between physicals, a year or more. They won't pay for it. And you're like, our healthcare is so screwed up. So, anyways, yeah. Well, that vacation came and went. I was like, I blew it. I blew my vacation. So, all right, let me kick this thing off and
sounds good.
Here we go. This is the Average Guy Network, and you have found Home Gadget Geeks show number 654 with Gavin Campbell, recorded on July 31st, 2025. Here on Home Gadget Geeks, we cover all the favorite tech gadgets that find their way into your home, news, reviews, product updates, and conversation, all for the average tech guy. I'm your host, Jim Collison, broadcasting live from the AverageGuy.tv studios here in a sweltering, although, Gavin, we had a thunderstorm come through the other night, maybe 2 nights ago, brought temperatures back down to something reasonable. Everybody's like, oh, this summer's over. It's not, though, right? We know it's not, right? How are things in your neck of the woods?
It was hot last week, like really hot. If you were outside, you had a fan, it was just blowing hot air on you. All it's doing is moving the air, right? But today it finally it broke, cooled down to a really nice temperature over the next couple of days, and then it's gonna get warm again. But the weather this year I just find has been really weird. Like all these random rainstorms and
Yeah,
thunderstorms
a lot
just
of rain.
rolling in out of nowhere, and then they go by. It's just been constant that, and
Mhm.
then it just gets really hot. So I don't know what's up with the weather.
That oppressive hot. Like you go outside and you audibly go, "Oh, this
Yeah,
is terrible." Right? You're like, like, why do I live in the Midwest? Or, you're kind of in the upper East Coast. Why do I live here? And then but it doesn't last forever, right?
no,
I mean,
no,
it's we have box fans on our deck that you can turn on. The shed is my shed is air conditioned. I'm actually running some wiring in the garage right now. I'm gonna install an air conditioner in the garage, like not a mini split, but just like a regular air conditioner.
yeah,
It's unconditioned space, and we don't need it all the time. So it's one of those kinds of things. Like, yeah, I got an extra one. I'll put a window unit in there to kind of, and it'll help. It'll help the house overall.
yep.
So all these things that you do to try and stay cool, at the end of the day, just stay inside, right?
In the end of the day, like you still walk into your house, you're like, "Oh, it's so cold in here.
Yeah,
Nice."
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
good to have on the show. We'll remind folks. We'll post this show with some world class show notes, and there will be some good show notes tonight. Gavin's given me some good links out at theaverageguy.tv. Big thanks to our Patreon subscribers. If you're on that team, thank you. Appreciate your support of the network. We're going to talk a little bit about the solar project from last week. I'll give you an update here before we get kicked in here. But you guys help with that if you want to join the team and add to the value of the podcast, theaverageguy.tv/Patreon. And then a big thanks. Many of you have been headed out to the affiliate pass through on the site. Go out to theaverageguy.tv, upper right hand corner. You'll see a red. This site is, Amazon, blah, 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 whatever it says. Click through that. You don't need to do nothing else. Many of you have been doing that. Appreciate it. And of course, that supports the network as well. Okay, Gavin, you're a friend of the show. You listen all the time. Last week, I spent some time talking about the solar project that I was putting together. Two 100-watt eco worthy panels, 18-volt by bifacial, and the whole goal of those, and wiring and snippet, gadgets that you need. I probably spent $200 just in equipment to be able to run these $100 solar panels for now. Now the goal is maybe to run a few more, but in the whole point of the discussion was to bring these panels in and plug them into the Bluetti uh, solar generator that I have. And I had been told by a couple influencers on YouTube that it had solar priority. So if you plug it in and it's running, it'll take the power first from the solar and then next from the grid and then use the battery if it had neither, right? That's totally not true. By the way, I might
maybe
have
on your model.
actually I reached out to Bluetti, their support, and said, "Hey, how come this isn't working this way?" I got the panels set up, I got energy coming in. I was trying to test these panels. We had clouds for 3 days in a row,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
I got everything set up and wired, and then I couldn't get any sun. Finally, on Sunday, we got some sun. Started getting some power, and I couldn't figure out. I was monitoring their, I have a Bluetooth connection to it through my mobile app, and I have like a Android tablet here that I use for most of the dashboarding of that. But it went. The solar power was there. It was seeing it, but it wasn't applying it. I'm like, what's going on? I'm trying all these different things, unplugging it, plugging it in, switching the things on and off, checking the panels, whatever. So what I came to find out, and the reason I'm saying this is I don't want you guys to listen to last week's show and follow my advice from last week's show or what I was doing. The Bluetti, and actually many of those, I shouldn't say many, some of those solar generators don't have what's true solar priority, which either means the solar comes in, that gets used first, whether it's for the current energy that's being needed or for the batteries, right? Some folks, it's just an expensive unit to get. You have to basically get a pretty good controller to be able to do all that. That's not what I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping I could kind of rig this thing up. But it in its current phase, if it's below 99%, 99% or below, so it will take from solar first. That's what they mean by solar priority. And then it takes from the grid to charge it back up. I've unplugged it from the wall, let it go down to 30 or 20% and let the charge go in. I don't have enough of a charge coming in on solar for it to truly recharge it. So solar's coming in, grid is coming in, it recharges it, gets to 100, stops using the solar, and just pulls everything from the grid. So if I led you to believe last week that at that point, at the 100% point, it would pull from the grid, it would pull from solar or PV first, not true. I just want to be really clear about that. Contacted Bluetti, sent them a nice email. They sent me a nice one back and said, "Yeah, that's the way it is. Sorry that you believed the other way." And I said, "Well, okay, it's no worries. I didn't buy it thinking it would do this. I thought maybe after a while it would." Then I said, "Do you have a trade-in program, and do you have one that does?" Like, and they said, "Yes, we have a trade-in program. No, we don't have one that does." That's a fairly significant MPPT controller for solar, and they're just not putting that expense into these pretty inexpensive solar generators at this point. So just be aware of that as you were listening to my words last week. Gavin, the timing is perfect for you being on here, though, because it presents a new problem to me. I was
Uh-oh.
thinking, okay, right, if I can't do it that way, maybe I can home assistant this thing and figure out a way to rig it. So in this case, it only pulls in solar when it's charging. So say during the day, sun comes up, I turn off I have a TAPO. We talked about this. I think it's an H115. It's basically just an automated outlet, right? Plug it in, get access to it through the TAPO app. I can turn it on and off. It measures the power that's coming in. So when the sun is up, I wanted to say, "Hey, Tapo, turn off." And then I wanted something to monitor the Bluetti that says, "Hey, when that charge gets down to, I don't know, what's safe, 10%, do you think? 15, 20%, maybe something along those lines. Then turn the Tapo back on, and the whole time it'll be pulling in solar power while it's working its way down. Then when it's coming back up, it'll pull in solar power and use that as well as the grid. So I would technically use less grid. But does this sound realistic for me? Like in the hackable home assistant space, do you think I could hack this thing at all? I mean, what would I need to do, you
Um,
think?
More than likely you can, and more than likely you have all the pieces you need for this, right? So, um, Bluetti is Bluetooth, and I know you have a Bluetooth receiver transmitter because you're using it with your Govee stuff, right? So there's a plugin for Home Assistant that somebody developed for Bluetti specifically, right? Now to install it, you have to install it through what they call hacks on Home Assistant. And for those that are not familiar, it's the Home Assistant community store. It's where a bunch of people that develop their own plugins can put it in there easily. And it's not officially supported by Home Assistant. You get community support in their forums and stuff like that. And it's really easy to install stuff from there. You just go in, search, you click download, it's installed. It's pretty much then you configure it from there. So I saw there's a Bluetti one in there. Now it looks like your Bluetti one, your model is actually supported by this plugin.
It's
So
the
that's a good
AC
sign.
180, just for folks
Yep.
listening. That's the model I have.
So that's a good sign. And yeah, I don't know what basic, it just says it gets basic data. I don't know what's more basic than the battery level. So we'll
Yeah.
see. You could
You think.
you more than likely would get that, and you can now work with that. And you can say at this time, turn off the plug, and then let it go. And then when the battery
Yeah.
reaches 30, you just say turn back on the plug. Hopefully it reports battery in real time or something usable. Like even if it's every 5-10 minutes, that's fine too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But these are all things that you will learn as you play with this too. Like,
do I need an intermittent, something in between to be monitoring both the Bluetti levels and then tell the Tapo to turn off or turn on? Is there something I need? Is there another thing in between those two, or how do I get that integration to work?
so what you'll probably do is create an automation in Home
Okay.
Assistant.
Okay.
And then the automation, your trigger will be, for example, to have it turn back on, you can have the trigger be when the battery level drops below 30, then execute this,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
your trigger to turn the switch off is usually maybe a time of day or something like that. You would have it trigger that, turn the switch off now, for example, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's just
Okay.
an automation. Once you get the data in there, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. Okay.
Right. I mean, you can
Yeah.
even go wilder if you want. Like
Okay.
if you, there are hacks integrations that people wrote that you put your like your GPS location in, and it will look at the sun angle, the
Oh.
angle of the sun to your house.
Oh.
Now, where they
Yeah.
mainly use this, and I was gonna play with this a bit, but I ended up just closing my blinds. But with blinds, right?
Yeah.
So you can have this integration will calculate the angle of the sun coming into your house, and you can have it adjust the blinds as the sun goes a certain way, right? So the sun's not hitting your floor or whatever like that, right? So you could use that to probably with the Bluetti to say if the angle of the sun is between here, then I know it's hitting my panels. And then as the angle comes over here, if you have a tree in the way or something like that, then you know
Yeah.
it's not going to be hitting
Yeah.
your panels.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
work with it like that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. I
There's
like
some
that. I like
ideas
that
for
one.
you.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It also gets me thinking about weather and saying if it's a cloudy day, just don't run the integration, right?
You can
Until
put brightness
sun.
sense, like my EcoWit gateway, for example. My EcoWit solar station will tell me how bright it is outside.
Yeah.
So if that's sitting next to it, it will know.
I like that. What if I got a Wi-Fi enabled voltmeter, basically is what it is, watt meter, let's say, that's on the other side. So as it's coming in, it's measuring the wattage of the panels, and then say, hey, only run this routine if the watts are at, let's say, 60 watts or above. Then now everything can start working. Then now go to the tapo, turn it off, because that would mean sun is on those panels. And if it's not measuring 60 watts, let's say, then it just always turns the tapo on, so it's always feeding from the grid. You could kind of, I think you could probably do something like, so I might want to
That's a good
check
idea.
with Home Assistant to see, okay, what voltmeters or watt meters, whatever it is, are compatible, because I would need to get one that has MC4 connectors on it. I can't just use a kilowatt meter. This doesn't have plugins, right? I need one that is in line with the solar line to tell.
Well, even better, what are they called? The amp clamps.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
amp
the
clamps.
Sense
So
or some of those, right? Sense, isn't that one of
no,
them?
well, you can actually. So for my dryer solution, it's basically just you put it around one leg of the power, and it measures how much amp is coming through there.
Mm,
So when the dryer's on, you can get them at to handle different amounts, but when the dryer's on and goes past this many amps, it now notifies me that my dryer's on.
okay. Is
And
that
then when it
Wi-Fi?
drops,
It's Wi-Fi,
no,
so
you
oh,
can. So I have it built into basically that piece is just two wires coming in.
yeah,
It's
right,
almost just
right,
like a switch, it
right.
opens, closes. You can get them as normally open or normally closed. I have it wired into like a Z-Wave. It was a contact sensor, but it had
Okay.
inputs into it. So it was
Mm,
battery powered,
got it. Okay.
totally, like, because I didn't have power in my
Yeah.
dryer area for this. And yeah, this would totally do what you want. You just
Okay.
want to find how many amps before it triggers,
Okay.
and then get one to the right size.
Yeah. Yep. I kind of have one of those. It's in line, for the generator. So the generator inlet that's coming in, it's wrapped around that big the cable,
Yeah.
and then it only comes on, and it's wired into a just the black and red on the generator side. So it won't run if there's no power, but as soon as the generator comes on, it feeds the monitor, and then it monitors the power coming in and tells me what kind of watts and volts and amps that I'm pulling off that. So that's kind of helpful. Okay. Well, I got some options. Anyways, it sounds like it. Listen, to be honest, I was I was bummed out on Sunday. Like I, I was like, I can't believe. So I went on to Reddit to like, hey, if others, actually the Bluetti forum on Reddit is pretty good. And actually Bluetti's uh, forums are pretty good.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, doesn't work that way. So disappointed. I was like, why don't, I'm just going to return everything. This was dumb. Why did I do this? And then I got thinking, along these lines, and I'm like, well, I'm talking to Gavin on Thursday. Let me see what my Home Assistant options are on that. And maybe, do you think, when you think about let's talk about your pool pump, because that's outside all the time, that
Yes.
those draw a little bit of power. You ever
It
thought
might be
about,
too much power.
you think so? What do you think it runs? 1,200 watts, maybe?
I could look it up right now on my
Is it
phone,
240 or
and
120?
240, I think. So I think it may be
Oh
pulling a bit too
yeah.
much. Because I have the Emporia View,
Okay.
right? And that monitors, I have one on every leg out of my panel. And I can tell you right now, what's this? 1.446. I guess that's kilowatts. That it's
Yeah.
showing me
So
that my pool,
1400 watts.
yeah, is what
Yeah.
my pool pump is pulling right now.
Yeah. You need
You
four
know?
400-watt panels to run that
Yeah.
pump.
Yeah.
You
See
could
it.
do it. Yeah, there's some space out. The thing about it though, right? You really you want your pump running at night, right?
I like it during the day,
So you
you
wouldn't
know?
you like
Uh,
so you think you'd be comfortable saying whenever the sun is up, the pump will run, but if the sun is down or it's cloudy, nope, it's okay if the pump doesn't run.
yeah, yeah, I'd be fine with that during the day. I mean,
Yeah.
power is free. I'm not going to complain if it doesn't cost me anything to run it
Yeah.
during the day,
No,
right?
yeah. Well,
You
it's
know?
not that it doesn't cost you anything. It's because you're gonna put a little 400-watt panels if you buy them new, at $1 a watt, you're $1,600. Or you can get them a
Yeah.
little bit cheaper than that if you buy, if you buy used. Sometimes you get them for 25 or 30 cents a watt.
$1,600. I don't think I use that
New.
much power.
No, no, yeah. Well, this is the thing, right?
When you do the math, yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. You could probably on the cheap do that for $800, maybe $600. It takes a couple years to recoup that cost back. Part of going solar for me was just test, like I wanted to know more about it. I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to use this. I'm not going to power my house off of for sure, but I wanted to be smarter about it than I am, right? And
Yeah.
so far so good. I mean, I'm learning a ton on the project. Well, okay, I'll give that a spin. John had said he had to take off, but he did say listen to the show last week. That's ready to go out and copy your setup. Just because it's a fun project, right? It's a really good thing I didn't live close to that. We don't live close to each other. Who knows what I'd end up buying? Yeah, that's probably true, John. But
Yeah.
I wanted to be real clear about that. Hopefully, I'm sure nobody went out and bought that stuff. But those panels are $99 again, so I might buy two more by
See,
the
that's
end of
the
the
thing. They
week.
rope you in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been a good trial and there's still some more work to do on it. And actually this weekend may move the panels. I've had them out front. I may move them to the back this weekend and just get that done.
So that's always been my question with these panels: is where did you mount them? Like, I don't want to put anything
Yeah.
on the roof, right?
No.
Do you just
No
have them on
roof.
the lawn, or
Uh well, I have a patio or I have a porch out front and it's got a really thick railing around it. I've got it set. The railings were 8-inch, 2x8s
yeah?
basically. And so I just I clamped them. I used just regular clamps and just clamped them to the top of the post. They get full sun that way. They're not optimized to the right angle, but I wasn't trying to do that yet. I was trying to see where's the right place to go. I need to do some more measuring of sun time out front and then wattage, even with those sitting straight up, they were, by 6, they had sun, but they were 25%, and so you kind of go,
Wow.
what's the right, I was getting sun on them about 10 and it was ending about 4 for the most part. So 6 hours of sun on those things. Do I want them there or do I want them in the back? And I kind of need to move them back there at some point. And then the sun starts a lot earlier there. It starts maybe at 9. I shouldn't say a lot, hour earlier, but it's done at 4.
Yeah.
So then you start thinking maybe one set should be out front, one set should be in the back, right? Because then you're taking advantage of,
A longer day.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is why I bought these things. So,
Maybe you should go one up and put them on a follow the sun, get a little motor so it follows the sun around, like,
yeah, you
come on,
got me.
Jim, we gotta think.
I know. I know. I gotta, Gavin, maybe you can, if you see anything like that in the home automation space, it would be interesting, again, every dollar you put into this, you're never going to get back for the most part, right? But it would be interesting to put these things on a 2 axis, right? So it tilts both side to side and then up and down so that you can get the right, you get the right angle of the sun and then follow the sun over the course of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, the question would be, would that ever pay off?
No.
Right. Well, and yeah, in you wouldn't definitely not want to do it on a panel by panel basis, right? Because you'd have to buy one of those for every panel if you had them going individually. So now you're putting the panels together, and you need a bigger one to move multiple panels, right?
I'll let you think about it.
No, okay. Well, that's what I bought them for.
Yes.
That's what I bought them for. So, anyways, appreciate you guys putting up with that. Hey, you've got some PoE controllers for Zigbee and Z-Wave. You want to talk about? Bring that in.
Yeah, so this again is another Home Assistant thing. If you're familiar, well, if you're a user of Home Assistant, more than likely you have a USB Z-Wave controller or a Zigbee Z-Wave controller, and you plugged it into your setup, and wherever your setup is pretty much where this comes from, where the controller sits. So in my house, my server actually sits in the basement in a far corner, and that's where the antennas sit, right? And it does affect range, like. You're in the furthest part of the house, so now your further devices start using more mesh and stuff like that. But what I did was I got a couple of PoE controllers. One of them is from a company called SM Light, and they make Zigbee controllers, Zigbee and Thread combination controllers. So I got that, and with PoE now, I can put this controller anywhere in my house, right? And I can put it in the center of my house. So now all the Zigbee devices have a really good connection to it, right? And they utilize less of the mesh. They talk to it more directly. You get better speeds, better reception. Devices don't fall off. This one works really well. I know this company, SM Light, is coming out. They're working on a Zigbee and Z-Wave version of it, which when that gets released, I'm going to grab for sure. And then I'll migrate everything to that and then centralize it. But it's got some really cool features that I never thought of until I got the device. And one of them is you can install a VPN on it. and think about it. So I think TJ from our show, the first thing he thought of is I can put this at my office. Like he has a little office away from his home, and put it on PoE and install the VPN. And then now Home Assistant connects to it. It connects to his Home Assistant back home.
Okay.
So now he can put devices in his office and control them all through his same Home Assistant instance. He doesn't need another box there, another Home Assistant, nothing like that. Like that was a really great use. I was thinking maybe I could put some smart devices in my mom's house to help her with certain things, and I can control them and manage them and everything like that as needed. She doesn't have to worry about it, and all I gotta do is plug this in and have it powered. It does do PoE, but I think it also has USB-C.
I did see a USB-C plug on the side.
Yeah,
I was looking like, what would that be for? That's for power. Basically?
That's also for power. If you don't have PoE, you could still buy it with USB-C, and it will use Wi-Fi to connect back to Home Assistant.
Okay,
right?
Or just regular
Ethernet.
a regular Ethernet, and then you would power it with that. Yeah, okay.
Correct. So I love this device. Like I've totally switched over to it. It works great. I've been running it for a number of months now, and like I said, when they release their Z-Wave version, I'll probably grab that one and just have it all in one device. Zigbee, Z-Wave. It also does Thread, all in one device.
What's the retail on this?
I am not exactly sure. I see you have it up on your screen right now. So
let's see if we can find it on Amazon here. This is Amazon US, $65. 66.
Well, that's they have the one confusing part about it is they have like 10 different models. Okay. For the average user, they're all the same thing. The dual antenna one also does matter in Thread though. So that one might entice a few more people.
Is this the right one?
Yes.
So $100. Let's say 91. It's $91.
Yeah. And I think cool. the developer is out of the Ukraine.
Says out of stock.
Yeah. You can order from his website. I think he's based out of the Ukraine. Really nice guy.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yep. And then I also have one for Z-Wave. So there's another person. The website is Tubes ZB, right? And they make also like a dual radio kit, so it does Zigbee and Z-Wave. The thing I use this one basically for Z-Wave, and I like it because it uses the Zeus Z-Wave module on this one, and I'm a big fan of zoos in the Z-Wave space. They're a big player. They're certified to work with Home Assistant, everything like that. So I was happy when I saw that because it's an officially supported chip that uses Z-Wave 800 long range, etc., etc. But this is another company that makes a similar thing, really affordable. I mean, I think it's less than $100 for them. And they have a lot of products. The thing with this one is Tube ZB will, when you get it, it will feel more like a kit that you put together. Like he'll give you a boards and you screw everything in. It's a 3D printed case where
Mm.
the SM Lite felt like a finished product, right? Between their
Mhm.
antennas and their casing and everything.
Mhm.
But in terms of functionality, same concept. PoE, you plug it in anywhere in your house. You can centralize it and take advantage of everything, Z-Wave long range, etc. It's great product.
And same price point, $100
Yep.
ish or so. It
Yep.
kind of reminds me like the Raspberry Pi, you know?
Yeah, they're
You-
based off stuff like that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Open the kit, throw that in there, or do whatever. You can swap out components if you wanted. Is this one? Could you swap out? Could you add upgrade on this, or is it fairly
Um,
fixed?
it's looks like you can play around with it if you really wanted to and swap out some stuff, but I didn't look that far into it. He kind of gives it to you as is. But it's very well documented what the ports are, etc. So if you really wanted to break it, you could go ahead and do it. And these are great for people that like to run. I run Home Assistant in a VM on my server, right? That way it backs up nicely. It's just the way I like to run. I can give as much power as I want, right? Now I don't have to fight with passing the USB devices through to that VM,
Yeah.
right? Because that was always a challenge. And you can reboot your server or a device just drops off the USB. Now it doesn't worry about any of that. It connects to it over Ethernet, and it's
Yeah.
giving me no problems.
Yeah. Of those, when you think about, the various protocols of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Z-Wave, what's your preferred? Do you have a preferred, or are there so many different ways to do it? You just make them all available on your server and then just connect to whatever they're making it. I don't know. Thoughts on that?
All of them. I have
Yeah.
Z-Wave, I have Bluetooth, I have Zigbee, I have Thread, Matter over Thread. I have,
Yeah.
and the reason why I have all of them is you always find a product you want. And if you go all Zigbee, you're gonna find a product you want that's Z-Wave or Matter only.
For sure. Yeah.
If you go to
Yeah.
Matter, you're gonna find it doesn't have a feature you want that's in Zigbee and Z-Wave, right? So I like to mix it up, and I like to try and mix it up nicely. And the reason why is because then it strengthens my mesh for all of them. Like if I only had two Zigbee devices, but the rest of my house was all Z-Wave, those two devices might have trouble communicating because I don't have a mesh. Right. So I try and mix it up a little bit, but
Mhm.
most of my devices, about 100 of my devices are Z-Wave. So I'm more tailored towards that. And that's just because I like uniformity too. So
Yeah.
all my switches are all Z-Wave.
Right. Are they all mesh in that sense? Are like all Zigbee and Z-Wave run on a mesh, or does it depend?
They're all mesh technologies. However,
Okay.
with the newer Z-Wave, you'll hear them talk about Z-Wave 800 long range,
Yeah.
and that's basically a hub and spoke
Okay.
setup.
Okay.
So you have the hub and everything connects directly to the hub. The only difference is in that mode, devices can communicate at much further distances, like really far. That's the marketing. I had a Z-Wave long range device.
Okay.
I threw it in the furthest corner of my backyard, which really isn't that far from the hub, and it couldn't see it at all.
Oh.
Right, it was dropping off. So I was like, I'm not a fan of the Z-Wave long range. And I have other Z-Wave devices out there, and they use the mesh, and they got back to my hub just fine.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it all depends on your use case. I mean, if you're able to centralize the antenna, that will help with the long range because now they don't have to scream as far to get to each other.
Yeah, and I imagine chipset matters sometimes too. Not matter, but matters sometimes too. And like, for the longest time, I had to go out to the shed. I take a laptop with me, and getting the Wi-Fi back from the house. I put some range extenders out there, tried a whole bunch of gyrations, And then I just changed laptops. And not all Wi-Fi equipment on laptops is created equally. And the new laptop was like, oh yeah, I can see that Wi-Fi all the way in your house just fine. Like, and
Yes.
here I'd been doing all these gyrations on, and I'm a big believer in reusing equipment whenever I can, right? Sometimes that bites me. It bit me then, and now it's, I don't even think about, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll run a cable out there. It's impossibly far. Maybe I need to get one of those Wi-Fi extenders that I put out on the deck kind of thing, run wire to it. All I really needed was a better laptop, right? So good,
Yeah.
good. Sometimes chipsets matter, right? And what you're doing. So hey, let's talk a little bit about you've got the next thing you wanted to talk about is dimmer switches. And it seems like, Gavin, in the world of switches, these are changing all the time, right? And I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. Is that inaccurate? And then why do you like this one?
In the Switch world, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say they're changing all the time. People
Okay.
try to add their own little I mean, a Switch is a Switch.
Yeah.
And for the most part, they all do the same basic thing, but every company likes to add their own little flair to it or something like that. But in the end, it's still a basic switch. But Inovelli is my switch of my preferred switch in my house. All my switches are Inovelli. I've replaced every switch in my house, and they're known for that blue bar at the side. On their older switches, it was just, if it was that's the dimmer style, and the older ones, if it was just a switch, it would be a little smaller bar at the bottom. But what they've come out with is the Red Series Z-Wave millimeter wave switch. And what this is it actually has a millimeter wave sensor built into the switch. And you can now create automations off of that. And it's not I wouldn't say it's motion, it's more occupancy sensing.
Ooh.
So
So how do you define the difference between those two?
motion sensing to me is if something moves,
Okay.
right? So it will say something moved in this room. Occupancy sensing is saying there's something still in this room,
Okay.
right? And it can detect it. Like with millimeter wave, the big hype about it is even if you're sitting still, it can detect the minute breath.
Yeah, because that's always the problem on these sensors, right? As you'd be in
Yes.
your office. This happens in the office all the time. You're working on something, you're not moving very much, light goes off. Then you do this whole hand waving thing, right, to get it to come back on. This senses more like when you're in there. How does it know is it heat, or is it what's it based off of? How does it know?
Isn't IR based off heat? Millimeter wave, I think,
Okay.
is
Okay.
based off of uh waveforms. I think it's sending out some kind of
Okay.
waveform and picking. I've never really looked into the technology, and it also seems to be pretty new. It's also changing a lot. So different sensors are coming out with different, I guess, I don't know if they're frequencies or hertz or something like that. So they'll be like one's a 24 megahertz frequency versus a 5 megahertz frequency, and that just increases the sensitivity, I believe. So that this space is pretty new, but it's going to start getting very popular.
Yeah. $100 a switch though, Gavin.
It gets expensive. It's not
$100.
cheap. It's not
Yeah.
cheap, but it's got a lux sensor built into there too.
Which means
So,
what? Which means what?
which is the brightness. So you can tell the brightness of the room. So you can
Okay.
have some automations, but it's a very powerful switch in terms of all the automations you can do with it. And all the things it can do through the settings. Like a lot, some of the things, if you want, you don't even need Home Assistant for. It's actually built into the switch. Having it automatically turn on and off the lights based on presence, and time of day. Those are actually settings on the switch itself, right? So it's almost like there's too many settings sometimes when I look at it.
Well, and it may be a switch realistically you have in 3 places. Like
Yes,
family room.
bathrooms.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't think about the bathroom. Well, maybe yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good place to have it.
I've
Probably
been
the best
I've
place to
been
have it.
playing around with 2 of them, and I have one in my office here and I have one in my bathroom, right? And the one in my bathroom will automatically turn on and off the lights when I walk into the bathroom, and I've gotten used to that. Like when I didn't have turned it off, I used to walk in there and forget to turn on the light,
Yeah.
right? So now I don't even think about it, and the light comes on and the light comes off. And I have other parameters around it, like only do it if my blinds are closed or stuff like that, right?
Right.
So they work pretty well. One drawback you have to take into consideration is the placement in the room. Sometimes the light where the light switches isn't the best placement for a motion or a millimeter wave sensor, right? Like some people have the switch facing almost like outside the room again, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta take that into consideration. But if you want a millimeter wave sensor, one of my favorites is the Aquara FP2. I have that also in my office I was playing with, but it's one of my favorites in terms of it's a wired one. That's the only downside to it, but it's my favorite in terms of features and reliability. Like on their app, you actually can draw out your room and then you draw out your desk and then say, okay, only activate if I'm sitting at my desk.
Oh wow.
Or in my living room, only activate this lamp when I sit in this chair.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
actually have a visual representation of it. You can look at the map and it will show you all the people in the room walking around. I think it tracks up to 5 people,
Wow.
and it will show you them moving around
That's
on the
scary.
map. So
That's
it's it's a really cool. That one is again another $100 device, but
Yeah.
you only need a couple of them.
Could it be assigned to 2 lights? So like if I come in the room and go left, I want you to turn the overhead light on. If I go in the room and turn right, turn on, you have a door behind you. Let's pretend that's a closet. And when I go to open the closet door, I want it to turn on a closet light. Can they do that with
You could
one
do
switch? Or would you have to have 2?
with the millimeter with this one, the Inovelli one. No, you couldn't automate. I know what you're thinking. That would be more with something you do with the Aquara FP2 sensor.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you could say if they sit in this chair, if someone's sitting in
Yeah.
this chair, turn on the lights based on the chair they're sitting in,
Right.
and it will track it like that. With the Inovelli one, I don't think it does individual reporting. I think they were playing around with it, but it got a little too complicated. I think they pulled some of those things. Technically, it can track more than one person. But it gets hard to how do you build that into options? How do you build that into Home Assistant? It gets a little more complicated. How does a user interact and set this up? You almost need like an app to configure it as well.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I just thinking if you can draw, I was thinking about, I've got the Oculus headset.
Yeah.
And you turn that thing on and then it says draw draw around you so it knows where you're at. So it can do some things. And I thought, boy, this would be handy because oftentimes the closet light is the hardest one to get. Where do you put the switch? Do you want the switch for that? If you had a sensor that was on the ceiling coming down and you drew a thing around the desk and then drew the door and said, when I go to this door, just turn that light on, type thing. So
for a closet door, I just use a contact sensor, but same type of idea. There are some devices, millimeter wave sensors that you can actually mount like a pot light.
Yeah.
Right. And it will shoot down over that door. So as soon as you walk into that range, you can have it turn on lights.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, it's $100 a little stiff for a switch.
It is. They got more expensive. They got more expensive. When I have the original Red series, and they weren't that expensive. But
why red? That seems unusual is it just a fashion? They
no,
actually have reds. No, they I was looking on the site and they have the color red is that just because they were called red before, or
they have multiple paddles. You can replace the paddle with whatever color. They have a bunch of colors that you can actually replace it. They actually come in white, but they call it the red series for Z-Wave, blue series for Zigbee, and white series for their Matter switches.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just saw it on the site in red. You can.
Yeah.
They got the color palette: gray, black, brown, ivory. What do you expect? Almond, light almond. Then they got a red one, and I was like,
"Who has red?"
Well, I don't know.
Somebody does.
It's the love room or whatever. But okay,
maybe
that sounds good. Anyways, hey, last time you were on the show, you had just got it started right with your mower.
Yes.
Right. And, you're like, I asked, like, what do you think? And you were like, well, I haven't really used it yet. So you're back. Talk about your mower. You've been doing it for a couple months now. What do you think?
Yeah.
Tell us what you got. Tell us what you got,
Okay.
and then tell us what.
I have the Navimow I-110 series right now. And I've been running it for since the spring, and I've been doing a little experiment. So my front lawn, I do myself. So I've been out there mowing it and doing myself. And my back lawn, I let this lawnmower go and do it. Now, the only other thing I did with my back lawn too is I threw down a couple years ago, I threw down this RTF seed, right? And the people I bought it from, a local seed farm, they said it's going to take about 2 years for this to grow in. But when it does, it's very, like you don't have to water it often. You can walk on it. Any bare patches in your lawn, it's going to fill it in significantly, right? And they're like, it's going to look great. So, I put it down in 2003, 2004 season. I was looking at my backyard lawn. I was like, it's very patchy. Like, is this thing really working? Is it really going to take 2 years? Right. And I was like getting a little down on it, but I was like, oh, I'll deal with it next year. This year came up spring, all the grass came out of nowhere and it filled in all the gaps and it thickened up and went super green. Where
what's the name of the grass again?
I got it from Visser's Seed Farm.
Okay.
VISSERS.
Okay.
Seed Sod Farm. Sorry. And they're kind of close by to me. But they have the it's called RTF. What was it called specifically? I'd have to look up the exact
RTF water saver sod.
Yeah. Well, not the sod, but the seed.
No, the seed. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's the same. Yeah. They just grow it for you, and then they put the sod down, right?
Yeah. Okay. So on top of that, what I did is I've also been using this mower, and I have it set up so I don't program it to go on a schedule because I have a dog I want to clean up before, etc., etc. But I every couple of days, I'll go out there and I just say, hey, lady, mow the lawn, and it goes, and this thing comes out, drives around the pool, goes and starts cutting the lawn. And the fact that I've been like, you're not fully cutting the lawn, but you're trimming the lawn. The fact that it trims the lawn so often, the lawn's been the healthiest I've ever seen it back there. Right? Like it just drops the trimmings into the lawn, it goes away. It's beautiful. And it does save time. It saves me time not having to do this. Right? Like, yes, I have to go trim. Yes, I manage it by telling it when to go, but that time is insignificant to actually pushing a mower.
Have you cut your trimming time down? Like in the sense that, do you do it less often because you're not out there as much? Like this season, I've only been trimming every third mow, and it's actually, my grass is in better shape because I was finding with the trimmer, I was just gouging areas out, making mistakes. You'd gouge it down to the ground, and I kind of just let it go, and it's been it's filling in now in those areas I was kind of hyper trimming, and then now I'm a little more careful. Like now that I'm letting it grow, I'm a little more careful when I'm trimming, and it's better. It's just better.
Yeah. It's been a weird year. Like when it comes to trimming, I only trim the back when I eventually mow the front. So every week or two, when I finally go out and mow the front, my front looks nothing like the back does. Right. And it's night and day difference. You can see the difference, how green the grass in the back is versus my grass in the front. So this
really.
Yes. And the part that shocks me so much is the amount of effort I put in to get it that green in the backyard wasn't significant. Like I wasn't expecting this. I was like, man, I messed this up. Last year, I thought I messed it all up. I thought, I should have done this. I should have done that. No, I did not. It came in and I'm shocked. Yes. So
do you think we're getting more rain this year though than you got last year? Just to be honest, like this has been a wet year, right?
Yeah.
For us anyways.
In the beginning of the summer, yes, we were getting rain like every day. Lately, last number of weeks, we just been getting hit with heat, and little rain. But I think come fall, we're gonna get a lot of rain again, and that will be perfect for me to throw down the seed in the front and do everything I want to do out there.
So you're gonna put the RTF? Did you put the RTF out front as well?
Not yet. No, okay. I wanted to see how it works first. If it works, the sad part is it took 2 years. So next year I'm gonna have to accept the fact. But it was worth it. My backyard's looking beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I have Zoysia in our front. It's full sun, and so that Zoysia grass, which is a Bermuda type meant for the southern states. Like up here, it dies. I mean, it goes dormant pretty fast. So by November, it's brown. Doesn't get green till like May. So I'm willing to put up with that. But in the summer, it's a carpet. It's a,
Yes.
and last year we had some spots, and this year it's been raining every third day, and it's lush and green. Like I could go sleep on it. It's so awesome. The RTF, it says here on the website, an advanced generation of turf type tall fescue. Say that 10 times fast. That produces a thick rhizome based root system, right? Rhizomes are they spread out from the base that sports unparalleled. This is what you're seeing right now. Unparalleled thick, even turf. In
Yep.
fact, RTF is so distinctly advanced from all of their tall fescue generations that it's been awarded a patent. They got a patent. Good thing that
Oh,
patent's in Canada, not in the United States. Apparently, we're going to start charging for patents here in the United States. The significance to professional turf managers is RTF's ability to self-repair. This is what you saw, right? The new RTF rhizome technology will fill in damaged bare spots and produce more attractive turf area. The rhizome nature of RTF is similar to Kentucky bluegrass. However, unlike Kentucky bluegrass, RTF will thrive in the transition zone climate and other tall fescue turf regions. There you go. There's your I think now you said this, you got to be patient, right? You
yeah.
got to throw it down and you can it's not did you aerate, or when you threw when you threw the seed down, did you aerate, or how did you just in the fall did you just toss it out there? What did you do to put the seed down? Do you remember?
Usually I get aerating, but the guys never go in the back. They only aerate the front. So technically the back I didn't
Okay.
aerate.
Okay.
I did throw down some soil. So I just had some bags of soil, and I mainly did it because I wanted to level some of the ground out there. So
Yeah.
I threw down
Yeah.
some soil and I
Yeah.
used a
Nice.
leveling rake.
Yeah.
But I threw the seeds down over top of it, or underneath it, and then I threw the soil on top of it. But I didn't really like, some people are like grind up the ground and do this and do that. I didn't really do any, like the amount of work I put into this was shocking. And yes, that's what they said was the reason why it will take so long before it comes up is because it grows, the roots will grow first. And then once
Yeah.
they get a thick root system, then it'll shoot upwards. And
Yeah.
that's what they said you'll see the second year.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked, but I'm going back to buy a couple bags. It's not cheap, but it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Can you see the rhizome, like it's just the bare spots? I'm always interested, like with Zoysia, the bare spots are there in the spring and then they just slowly like, and you can almost see it sends out little shoots, and you'll see it because it's going to sun, right? So the bare
Yep.
spots naturally have the most sun, and it shoots them across and another one across, and then it slowly starts coming in, and then you're like, oh, that spot's gone, and the poor weeds, you're probably going to see this too. The poor weeds, they try to grow up, to get sun, they go up over the top, and then of course your robot lawnmower, they don't get up for
Trims them
about a
up. Yeah.
day, chop them off.
Yep. That's
Right.
another thing is my backyard. I had weeds back there before I did all this. The weeds were fighting back there to get in. They're all gone.
Yeah.
There's a couple trying to squeeze in around the edges and stuff, but they're all pretty much gone. The grass is holding them out. So I can't
Yeah.
wait to try
Yeah.
this in the front.
Nice. Okay. That'll be good. You have to update us on that. Of course, you got water sensors out there on the front, right? To
Yep. Yep.
monitor. Do you have water sensors in the back as well?
Yes,
Or
I do. Yeah,
okay.
the
Okay.
moisture sensors, and I
Yeah.
just saw that in Canada now. As we were talking before, the EcoWit stuff,
Yeah.
they now have their So they released a new soil moisture sensor, the WH51L, and the difference with this one is the soil sensor is on like a wire now. So you can put it in the ground, put the wire under the ground, and then the head of the sensor, you can mount to like your fence post or something at the side.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
now it's lawnmower friendly, right? So where the other sensors they have are
Yeah.
not lawnmower friendly,
No.
right?
No.
So I'm gonna go pick up a few of these after
How
the
much are they?
show. 61 Canadian. I don't know
All right.
with tariffs,
Okay.
etc. how much in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
US, but you can get them off Amazon.
Are they
And
made here in the
these,
U.S. or are they Chinese? Or
yes,
they're made
they're
here?
made. I believe they're made in the
Oh,
US.
okay.
It's a US company, so I hope. I
Apparently,
know
a
it's
lot of things are going.
61.
Apparently, a lot of things are going to be made here in the United States in the future.
Soon,
We'll
yes.
see how well that works.
Yeah.
Oh,
But But I like these because they communicate back to their little hub using RF, and they go a long distance,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So it's really
So you have
good.
to have a hub, and then does the hub have a limit on the number of sensors that you can run?
You don't really have to have the hub. I mean, you can if you had a SDR antenna on your Home Assistant, you can make it go back in directly that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
But the hub makes it so much better. It
yeah,
does all the translations and everything for
yeah,
you.
yeah. How
They
much is
keep
a hub?
increasing.
Do you
It's
think?
all their devices are relatively cheap,
Okay, okay.
right? Like the weather station and gateway, $51 for that one. But the one I have is not too expensive.
Tell
Like
me the name again. And
EcoWit,
e-
ECOWITT.
EcoWit. We've talked about that before.
Yeah. Like I have the Wi-Fi gateway, and it looks like it's $60 Canadian as well.
Okay, okay.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they have a whole bunch of devices you could add.
They do. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a smart ball valve water timer.
You got more down there than I see up here. So
Okay. All
you're
right.
gonna
Well,
make me a little jealous.
they have quite a few weather stations in
Yes.
there. I think you can get a lot of these on Amazon, but
Yeah.
yeah. Tell me again the mower you got, and is it a keeper? You think?
I'll keep it because I'll keep it because I have it,
They
right?
gave it
But
to you, right? Yeah.
it's a really good mower. Their software is really good. I'm really happy with the mower. The one thing I'm waiting on in the mower space is the use of LiDAR,
Oh,
right? And
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're thinking about getting a mower, honestly, I would wait until this LiDAR comes out because right now with the mowers, they're all using GPS. So you got to put a GPS, you got to make sure you get nice view of the sky with satellites, and you can't your mower can end up somewhere because the little thing shifted a little,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
With the LiDAR, no antennas, no nothing. The first one I saw was, I think it was Ecovacs. They have the goats, right? And it's all LiDAR based, and every review I've seen about it has been great. The only problem is because it's one of the first, it's the price difference is huge too, right? So I'm not looking at that yet.
I don't know, to be honest with you. So Dave Hamilton, we had him on about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I think he got that Ecovacs goat. And to be honest with you, I mean, listen, I'm looking at a Yarbo. They're $5,000. Right?
Yes.
Okay, now with the Yarbo, you can mow and blow snow, and they have a trimmer. And I mean, like, it's an advanced robot, right? But the Ecovacs Goat 1000 right now, $850, which isn't terrible, right?
But keep in mind the 1000 series, I think, are all GPS based. You have to look at the A3000, I think it is.
All right. So we have to be careful. Like, there
Yes.
may be some Ecovac, and I think the one Dave had was LiDAR, because I think he was talking about how good that was.
Yes.
And so let me look. Maybe this one. That's $1,500. This is the no wire, an acre, full band, iVision robot. Is it the iVision? Is it the LiDAR they're calling iVision? Let's see.
I'm not sure if they refer. I just know the model number. The only LiDAR one they have is the A3000, as far as I know right now.
Okay.
All the others are RTK, I believe.
This one's RTK.
Yeah. So you got to find, if you look for, I have to actually go
RTK
to Amazon.
sounds like what they were talking about on Looper. Did you ever watch Looper with that movie Loopers? Is it Looper with I can't remember the names of those guys now. Bruce Willis and
Yes.
I think the thing it reminds me that the special mutation was, I think, was called like RTK or something like that. Sounds like it. All right.
But I expect more mowers will be coming with LiDAR eventually, so they're not going to be dependent on this stuff. And I think that's what I would wait on.
Really?
Yes.
So that you think that'll lock it up for the most part as far as accuracy and mapping and all those things.
Yeah, and just installation and convenience for people. You don't have to run a wire. The problem with the current setup is, to get that wire to a spot where it can see the satellites, I had to find a way to not go across the lawn, and it's not close to the house. You can't put it close to the house. You can't put it under trees. You can't do this. So once they get the LiDAR, now we're gonna start seeing much easier setup.
Yeah, that is okay. So the A3000 is $3,000. Let's
There
that
you go.
3,000 equals $3,000. So yeah,
But,
I'd have a hard time getting
but
that
from
mower.
what I'm hearing, some other companies are going to be releasing their LiDAR
Okay.
versions. Now, whether they announce it at IFA or CES, just keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I think that's the next step.
Okay. Well, you heard it here. And again, tell me again what you got. What's the mower brand?
It's Navimow I110i.
Okay.
It's owned by Segway.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You said
Yeah,
Segway earlier.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I almost pulled the trigger. It's been so hot this year. I was like, there's a couple times I'm like, oh, if I just had a freaking mower. I could be sitting on my porch. Bust out. We'll see you. Thanks for coming out. Um, I could be sitting on my porch watching this thing mow instead of sweating my, you know.
I think the happiest person to have one of these is the co-host on Home Tech FM, Seth. Right? He measures the area of his home in acres.
Yeah.
Like I measure mine in square feet. He
Yeah.
measures in acres,
Right,
but he has two of them. I don't know how he got two of them, and he just lets them go do his thing. And his lawn has been looking great from the pictures I've seen. The problem is by the time they're done, they have to start back up again.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, but
Always running. Always
he
running.
just leaves them going. Every now and then he gets a notification that one's stuck or he has to rescue one off the road. But where he's living, it's fine. The neighbors will call him and say, "Hey, he got out again."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he loves it. He said in this hot weather, he hasn't had to go out there, and they're doing their job.
I think they're actually better for the grass. They're not as heavy. They don't create the marks that a heavy mower does.
Yep, they do different
Doing it more
directions.
often. They do different directions.
Yep,
I think
they're
I think they're
quiet.
actually. How long do you think yours will last for? I mean, you think you get 3 to 5 seasons out of it, or do you think it's out there all the time, rain, snow, dark of night, like the post office?
Well, not
Any
snow. The
No,
wintertime, you
no, I
bring
know.
them back in,
No, I know,
but
I
I know what
know.
you mean. I think the weakest part, the part that probably won't last the longest. I mean, other than the blades, which you have to replace every, however
Mhm.
mows or probably a couple times a season. The battery may be the problem. Like I don't know how long the battery, charge, discharge, how many cycles it has. I think that will determine how many years you get out of it and whether or not you can replace the battery yourself. I don't think on mine it's easy replacement. You can replace it, but I don't think it's an easy replacement. Or on some others, they actually have an easier replacement of the battery. You can buy a new battery and
Wow.
put it in, and you're back in business. There's not many parts to it. It's just a little disc that spins with these little blades on the end, and that's all it really is.
Yeah. Well, you'd almost wonder if they go the way of power tools, where the batteries would be separate. And you snap them in, and you can swap them out if you need to. That wouldn't
That
be too. That wouldn't be too. That wouldn't be too bad. They're expensive, but
don't give DeWalt the idea, please. These batteries are like getting expensive. I almost buy a kit on sale just to get the battery, not for the tool, but it's cheaper to buy the kit because I get the free battery with it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm buying it for the battery.
Yes.
Yeah, no, right on. They've got apparently there's one battery manufacturer that's making all those batteries for all those companies, and I think I heard the other day it's Milwaukee. So the Milwaukee brand owns the patent on all the cells that go in those. Then the other thing you got to watch out, that could be wrong, but I think that's what I heard. Then the other thing you got to be careful of, especially like on eBay, they'll promote these DeWalt, like $20. It's totally fake.
Yes.
Like if you, don't, you gotta be really, really careful on those batteries that if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Right. From that standpoint. So there's because of the batteries are so expensive. They didn't used to be that way, but because they're so expensive, there's a big underground black market for those things. It's crazy.
They got more expensive over the years, but also I find they also got bigger. My demands for them have gotten bigger with my leaf blower and stuff like that too. So I've had to get bigger batteries.
I bought a Black & Decker. I've been a Black & Decker guy. That's kind of the average guy power tool, right? Kind of thing. So I bought a Black & Decker like 12 or 18-inch chainsaw, put a 20 amp battery in there. It worked great for a while. Then they have some not hedge clippers, but it's chain driven, but you have to hold both sides. It's kind of safety chain, and you could cut smaller, up to maybe 4 or 5 inches off of something, and that would work great. Both of them died within like months of each other. Like the chainsaw went first. It just stopped. Like,
Yeah.
and then click, 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 took it apart. I'm sure there's a little motor in there I could replace. I didn't. Now I really like the loppers, the clippers that have a chain inside them. I may try to fix that one. I may do some troubleshooting online to say, hey, I've got this. It's not working. Does somebody fix this before? It would be nice, Kevin Schoonover was on a while. And I thought, this would be a nice one to fix if I can actually fix it. But I'm kind of losing a little faith in Black and Decker, at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I had
oh,
Black and Decker tools back in the days, and now I look back, they weren't the greatest
they're not great.
tools.
But
The one I had.
I just don't use them that much. That's the one of the
Yeah,
things that you're like, it's not like I'm using them every day. They got the chainsaw lasted me 4 years, maybe 5, and the clippers lasted me 3, but I used them a lot, so you're kind of, I
yeah.
got batteries with them, so maybe they were free with batteries. you know
I have one tool that I couldn't get into DeWalt, right? So, but I really wanted this tool, right? And I
Yeah.
bought it, and it came with its own battery. But instead of going into getting a whole new battery ecosystem going in my house, I actually found a little adapter that let me plug the DeWalt batteries into it. So now I have this tool, and I still have my DeWalt battery, so I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
Did you think those adapters are pretty, like, you know, can you go, I buy a Harbor Freight tool? Do you think there's an adapter from Harbor Freight to DeWalt? If
You'd have to
that's the
look it
system
up.
I'm in? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd
I
have to
never
look it
thought
up.
of that. Well,
I have a few tools that I have an
okay.
adapter for, and I just use the DeWalt
I'll have to
batteries
look
on
into
it.
that. If you know that exists, throw it in chat or on YouTube, throw it into the comments or send me an email, jim@theaverageguy.tv. I'd love to think through that because I think the battery ecosystem is the biggest mafia. Like, first of all,
Yes.
batteries are the mafia for
Yeah.
sure. They're running that for sure right now. And then you're like, yeah, because sometimes you're like, nope, I got to buy the DeWalt tool because I'm in the DeWalt ecosystem, or
Yes.
I'm in the
Yeah.
Milwaukee. I got a Milwaukee that for Christmas, Sarah got me a Milwaukee screwdriver, and it's really just a hand. I mean, it's not very powerful at all. It's really just meant to put screws in. But
Yep.
man, that thing is freaking handy.
Oh,
Like,
I have one too. I have a DeWalt version, but
yeah,
exactly what you say. I love this thing. It's
it's yeah, it's handy. I use the
yeah.
heck out of that thing. So,
My
yeah,
neighbor's a Milwaukee guy. He's got all the Milwaukee tools. I'm a DeWalt guy. I got all the DeWalt tools, and we go back and forth every now and then. But the nice part is I can compare, right?
yeah,
And I can
yeah,
actually
yeah,
use his tools and
yeah,
compare. And
yeah,
there's one brand that I say is better than the other, but it's like an iPhone versus Android argument. I don't want to
yeah,
get into it. I don't want to get
yeah.
into
No,
it.
right on, right on. We'll have turf wars over
Yeah.
tool manufacturers. The at work, some of those companies are our clients, right? We have them as clients, and I'm like, guys, you should send me to the when you're doing things, and I'll just talk up the tools. I'll get them all juiced up, like, yeah, no, I use the tools all the time, right, kind of thing.
Let's
They haven't
email
sent me
their
yet.
rep.
They haven't sent me yet. Yeah, they haven't sent me yet. So, anyways, hey, as we wrap this up, Gavin, Sonos headphones. I hear nothing good about Sonos sometimes, from price and complain. I hear people complain. I know it's great sound, but you got some Sonos headphones. How have they been treating you?
So yeah, I've heard lots of complaints about these headphones, especially when they first came out. They're not cheap headphones; they're expensive
Yeah,
headphones.
yeah,
But I ended up grabbing a set of the Sonos headphones used. Well, not used; it was new. But I got off of eBay. I won the auction, and I got it for a fraction, half price. And
nice.
at that point it's worth it, right?
Yeah,
How I use these, so I use these when I'm mowing the lawn. When I go mow the front lawn, I'll throw these on. They work like just any other Bluetooth headphone. They sound great. They have the noise canceling and everything. But to me, the power feature of these is being able to sit in front of the TV. You press a button and the audio from my TV just goes to the headphones, right? And you don't disturb anybody in the house. Now, To do that, you have to almost have a Sonos soundbar on each of the TVs, which I am in the Sonos ecosystem. I have soundbars on each of my TVs, right? And from the Beam, I either have a Beam or the Ray on my TVs, which are not the expensive ones like the Arc. But I can sit down in front of any of the TVs. You press the button, it transfers the TV to my headphones and mutes the TV, and it knows what TV I'm sitting in front of, right? So it's really nice because I could be down in the basement, and I'm watching the TV down there, and I just press the button, and now it's not bothering anyone in the house, late at night. And I kind of come to like them for that, right? I mean, there's some annoyances, but I think they fixed a number of the annoyances I had in software updates.
Okay.
And the one thing I really wish I could have used it for was for podcasting like this, right? They do have a USB-C cable, but the problem is there was a delay in the voice that I don't get with a regular cable, and that's the digital processing in there. That was my one thing I really wish I could have used it for. But other than that, they're great for TV.
Yeah, I'd use my Bose for that if they didn't. They still have a slight delay in them, and I'm not a. It's funny here at the studio here. I'm not a cans guy. I do earbuds. At work in the studio, earbuds. But in my office, I have a Audio Technica BP1, which is the headset. It comes down. It's got the handle on it. Or it's got the mic on it. I love that thing. And people are always like, man, that's the biggest headset ever. I'm like, I know. That's why I like it. That's why I like it. I can hear. I do like hearing through the cans. And I should probably, at some point, I'm going to probably go cans from the earbuds, but I don't know. I've done this for so long.
You're used to it. You're used
to
it.
Change. Yeah.
I like drowning out the sound. Like when I'm mowing the lawn, I like drowning out the sound so I don't hear the lawnmower and stuff
good.
like that.
It's all good. I don't know what I look like at work with ears because I'm always, always
have
the cans on. You take them off. I'm like, man, my head is skinny. Dang, that looks good. These headphones make my head look skinny. That's pretty good. Couple comments coming in from chat. Uncle Marv says, I must be a schmuck. All Ryobi.
Here. That's the tool I have. I have the Ryobi. I have a Ryobi tool. There's an adapter.
I think Black & Decker and Ryobi. Listen, there's only like 2 companies that make all this stuff. I think Ryobi and the Harbor Freight stuff, I think they're all made by the same company. So no, Uncle Marv, no judgment here. Ryobi's got some good. It depends on the ecosystem.
If it does the job.
Yeah, for sure. Pest says my DeWalt set needs replaced. Batteries are toast. And drivers are all shot. Use Milwaukee at work, planning on switching to those. I like Milwaukee, but I like the color red. I also like yellow. So I'd struggle between the two, right?
Well, if he's planning to switch to Milwaukee, go for it.
Yeah.
I can back that one.
Okay. All right. I like it. It's a good product. I think they're all doing pretty well from that standpoint. There's a lot. The good news is there's a lot of competition in that space. And so it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive, but there's a lot of accountability in there as well. And I think that actually plays out. Joe says I'm on team DeWalt mostly, although I have a Milwaukee chemical sprayer. I think we all have, we all cross over. It's not a turf war, for God's sakes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's an argument, but me, like I said, I went out there with my DeWalt leaf blower, and my neighbor walked out with his Milwaukee leaf blower, and he totally just put me to shame. And I'm just like, so it's gotten to the point now where sometimes I just go over to his garage and I say, hey, can I borrow your leaf blower and your trimmer? I don't feel like going to get my batteries, and he lends it to me. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We've compared it.
I like it. Brian says in chat, a good buddy of mine swears by Milwaukee. Yeah. Milwaukee's one of our, I think they're one of our clients too. So it's, it's one of those. Well, listen, in the farming space, when you think of Caterpillar or
John Deere.
Yeah, there's some bad. There's a red one too. What's the name of the red? Case. Is it Case? I think it is Case. Is it Case?
Can't remember.
It doesn't matter. They all battle over those things. Listen, I don't think brand is bad from that standpoint.
No.
I think sometimes the greater the competition, the better products we get out of it
Yep.
because they know they're in a battle, right? So I don't think that's necessarily bad. Gavin, as we wrap it up, what's coming up on hometech.fm?
Oh, well, we have some guest interviews coming up. So we interviewed Jimmy Hawkins from Automated House. Like, if you search for Automated House on the socials, like Instagram and TikTok, he's got
Nice.
many followers. So we did an interview with him talking about all sorts of stuff, smart home related. And then we also had Wayne Kreifels. I hope I said that right, but he was the GM and VP for Segway at Navimow, North America. So he is the guy about the robot lawnmower. We've talked to him about it and we gave him our feedback. And it was a great interview, because we were basically validating his sales pitches on a lot of the stuff. Because I came back and I said, I noticed this. He's like, yes. How it handles corners, how it handles walls. So it was a great interview with that too. And we have a few other interviews in the pipe lined up, which will be great. So we've gotten a lot of interviews coming in. Keep an eye out for those on the show.
Yeah, if you like this show, you'll love hometech.fm. Much more technical, but just as fun. Those guys have a good time over there. TJ was on, I don't know, a couple months ago. We'll get him back on. Seth, I don't know. I don't know if we should have Seth on. We'll
Seth is jealous. He's jealous.
have
We were
to see
actually
how it
talking.
goes.
I don't know if it was on the last show we were talking about it, but we were like, Seth.
I give Seth a hard time.
The problem with Seth is he'll come on this show and he'll talk about all of his unfinished projects.
Yeah.
That's the joke with Seth. He'll tell you about everything he started, but you'll never hear about anything he's finished.
That's hilarious. All right, after the show, I'll reach out to both TJ and Seth, give them a chance to come back on the show, and always appreciate that. Gavin, thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for always saying yes. Thanks for being a friend of the show. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite. And one last thing, we're going to CES in January. The whole Home Tech crew.
Oh, really?
We're going to CES in January. We've booked our B&B. It'll be the second time we ever meet up. We talk to each other all the time.
Yeah.
We video chat with each other all the time, but we're going to CES. That's in January. So there's going to be some get-togethers going on there that we're all going to be at. So, it might be a good year to go if we're going to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Are you going to do like live coverage, or are you going to do any? Is it all recorded, or
we'll probably record it all? We'll probably record it. Doing anything live from there is going to be really tough coordinating it all. So we might just go and we record the audio and video while we're there, and then we edit it all up and put it into a show and stuff. But we're going to be meeting with other creators. We're going to be meeting with a lot of these companies we talk about. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff this year.
Good. Yeah. Brian says he's looking forward to those shows coming up. So some good ones. Hometech.fm, and give that a listen. If you haven't put it on your podcast app, do that today. And Gavin, we appreciate it. Can you hang around a few minutes while I close?
Oh, for sure.
It's okay. All right. Awesome. A couple reminders on the way out. One, join us in the Discord group. Actually, this week, a couple big discussions. So there's a gaming discussion in there. Uyghur was jumping in, and so if you want to join the Discord group, jump in. It doesn't have to be consuming. I know some folks are like, I can't do another thing. Well, this isn't one of those things you have to do. If you want to jump in and ask questions, you can. If you want to lurk, you can. theaverageguy.tv/Discord and just ask to be invited. We'll put you in there. Big thanks to Christian, theaverageguy.tv platform, both web and media hosting, powered by Maple Grove Partners. Secure, reliable, high-speed hosting from people that you know and you trust. That's Christian. I think he still got plans at $10. Listen, it's the best deal on the internet. Check it out today. MapleGrovePartners.com. If you want to send me an email or you got comments on the show, I always appreciate those. And some of you, Neil, thank you. Neil's more frequent than anybody. Neil, you win the most emails from listeners award, hands down, by far. I always appreciate your comments. If you want to send me an email, jim@theaverageguy.tv. I always like hearing from you. Got a long email this week and I haven't got back to you yet. I don't want to say your name because I'm embarrassed that it took me. I still haven't gotten back to you, but I will do that here later this week. We were talking about home servers and NAS, and I got a whole long description of everything he'd done. And I was like, oh, I want to respond to this. And I didn't get it done. So I'll be emailing you back here shortly. We are live every Thursday. No, not every. But most Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. God, I'm still trying to figure that out. Here at theaverageguy.tv/live. When are you guys? Do you guys do live, or is it only recorded, Gavin?
It's only recorded. We tried live at once, but it gets tough because when we get recorded, we spend like an hour sitting there talking about random
Yeah, I know.
stuff,
Right
and
on.
then
Right on. Right on. I got you. When do you publish? When's the show come out?
when Seth does it.
Okay. All right.
So technically, we usually record on Tuesdays, and
That
it's
makes
supposed to be posted on a Friday, but Seth
Yeah.
always ends up a few days late. So
That's all right. It's sad. It's okay.
it gets out there.
We understand. We understand. Well, we are live every Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. And then I publish 9-ish
Fridays.
on Saturdays, actually. Saturday mornings, 9-ish, somewhere in there. Kind of depends. I work on the show Friday nights. Then I work on it again Saturday mornings, and I try to get it published before Ask the Podcast Coach to have it out there for you. For Joe, past Brian, I didn't see Ken earlier. Bust Out joined us earlier. John was out there. Thanks for joining us live. You can too, but if you're listening to the podcast or on YouTube, thanks for listening and doing that. Subscribe and follow and all that other stuff. Thanks for coming out. With that, we'll say goodbye, everybody. All right, Gavin, thank you.
You know what's funny is every time you publish on Saturday, me and TJ always like send the link to Seth and go, see, this was only recorded 2 days ago. This was recorded Thursday night. It's already out. You know, we actually referenced that because I think on this last recording we talked about, I said I was going to be on Home Gadget Geeks, but we actually laughed about it. We go, well, by the time you listen to this show, I've already been on Home Gadget Geeks. So go listen over there.
That is
so
hilarious.
yeah, we get on Seth's case a lot.
Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, Seth, he's doing his best. He's doing his best.
He's a hard worker.
Dan Lefebvre checked it. He said, just realized what time it is. Well, yeah, it's 8:30, Dan. But he says, sad I missed most of the show. It's okay. I recorded it for you. And he says he'll catch the replay. Thanks for coming out, Dan. I appreciate that. Brian says, excellent show. Dan, I'll see you. By the way, I'll see you tomorrow. No, Saturday morning. Dan's a sponsor over there at Ask the Podcast Coach. And I appreciate that, Dan. Yeah, Dan's the mug sponsor. I don't have it down here. I need to shoot. It's upstairs, like at getting clean up at the sink. But he's the mug sponsor or the
nice.
The coffee sponsor on a Saturday morning. So Dan, appreciate that. Brian, thanks for the comments, and that was fun. That was a fun show tonight, Gavin. Thanks for hanging out with me. Joe said he's got an ego or no ego? How do you think you pronounce that? Is
Ego.
That
I think it's Ego.
Ego. Is that an Ace brand? I was wondering.
I'm not sure.
Is that where I see, or Walmart? Is that a Walmart brand? Or
Ego.
Maybe you can get them on Amazon. I thought that's one of the newer ones. You see them all over the place. They're priced pretty reasonably.
Up here, it's a Canadian Tire brand. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's your version of Ace Hardware.
Well, Ace. I think Lowe's carries them too. I think they're available at Ace, Lowe's, and
I don't think we have Lowe's up here anymore. I think they got
Amazon.
rid of them.
Oh, that's too bad. I like Lowe's.
Well, Rona bought them out, so Rona's our Canadian version of Lowe's.
That makes sense.
So yeah, there's a lot happening.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, there's always stuff going on. They have Ego. They've got a riding lawnmower. It takes 4 batteries, 4 of these big batteries.
Is it worth it at some point?
I don't know. That's a $4,000. Here, look at this. I'll share my screen.
Well, the riding mower is only $500, but the batteries are $4,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at here's the mower, $4,000, 4 batteries. This one's got 6. It's a $7,000 riding mower, 6 batteries.
Wow.
Yeah, I wonder how much those batteries are to replace. Let's see.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I wonder if you can.
I clicked on an AliExpress link. It's only $900 with 4 batteries.
Let's see if they. Let's see. Drives like a car, turns on a dime. Let's see if they got their battery.
Yeah, my friend loves his 0-turn mower, so
ECO battery. batteries. Let's see what that.
What are they? 20
Okay.
amp? Yeah,
$90 for the
5
5
amp.
amp hour.
You probably need a bigger one though. Like how many? Which
Those
ones
are
do you need?
56 volts, dude. 56 volts.
That
That's
seems
crazy.
that seems cheap. You probably need bigger batteries.
Okay, these are the sponsored ones. Let's see if we. Here's 150 for the two and a half for the two and a
Yeah,
half
so you're
amp.
starting to get into
Two
bigger
and a half
prices.
amp. Let's see if they got something higher than 2.5 amps. Here's a 5 amp for 70. That's got to be fake. That one's got to be fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the Chinese. That's a Chinese knockoff. Let's see, 151 for 2.5. Do they make their own 5 amp hour? Yeah, here it is. $203.
And you need 4 of them, right?
You need 4. $800 for batteries. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little crazy. Now here's where the ripoff, here's where the fake ones come on. Pest says Ego not owned by any individual box store.
Okay.
Got the blower and multi-thread string. Yeah, I think at least here in the US, they're in the Lowe's, Amazon for sure, and they're an Ace brand for sure. I've seen them there, or the Ace uses them. Joe says he's got one of their chainsaws. Not bad.
I'm just trying to figure out what battery cuts up to 4 acres on a single charge with 6 12-amp batteries that are included. See,
6.
Yeah.
So
this is the one I'm looking at. This one,
God.
oh my god, this is the 2042 and 0 turn. Oh, this one 4 batteries at 12 amps. So you're looking at 12 amps each battery to be able if you're gonna have one of these.
Okay. Yeah.
Now price those out. Those are not $200.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. They do have a 7.5 amp hour. This must be a knockoff. 7.5. Yeah, it is. 7.5 amp hour, 56 volt replacement. And it's $115. It's a knockoff, right? I mean, look, you might as well just get like an EcoFlow and plug that thing into the plug that into your mower to make that thing work. 6 batteries. Good Lord.
So, oh my god, like it's just getting worse. What I'm pulling up on this is the 12-amp battery is $750 for one. Okay, keep in mind that may be Canadian, so I mean,
well, but
you
still,
can do
it's
your
still going to be
math.
$600 US, right? From that.
Yeah, 750 Canadian. So, if I need 4 of those, just buy a lawnmower, just pay a service to do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe says they're sold at Atwoods as well. We don't have Atwoods out here. Do you have Atwoods?
I've never heard of
me neither. Let me
Atwoods.
see where they're at Atwoods.
Farm, ranch, outdoor, and home goods. Find a store. They're in the United States. Oh, they're just
Oklahoma, Kansas,
Missouri.
So central, South Central U.S. Yeah, we don't have them up here in Omaha. Yeah. Oh, there's their map. Yeah, it's all around the Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Atwoods. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm sure they're just one of those, like Black & Decker's in the same boat, right? They're kind of like every once in a while Menards gets something from Black & Decker. I mean, if you want the cheapest of the cheap, Menards is the worst. Yeah, I shop there all the time.
Yes.
It's the closest.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the closest. It's another couple miles out to, we have a Home Depot and a Lowe's that are real close. And and our Home Depot is super small. So
ours are big.
Well, the Home Depot's been here. Our Home Depot's been here a long time, but it was a smaller, that part of town didn't have as many people in it when they built that Home Depot. Now it's kind of built around them. And I imagine at some point they will close that one and move it to they'll build a bigger one
Yeah. Yeah.
because it just doesn't make any sense. It's just so small. You go in there and you're like, God, how do they jam all this stuff in here? But
Yeah. But Home Depot's like the go-to place around
I
here.
think so. I like Lowe's. Their military Lowe's has got a commitment to the military, so as being a veteran, I kind of like that. And they give me a veteran discount.
Yeah.
Some of those other things, but Home Depot.
I just have watches out on batteries. So when one goes on sale, I'd see
Yeah.
the notice at Home Depot, hey, this battery's on sale, and I'll go grab one or two and I'm good.
Do you think we talked about counterfeit batteries? Do you think the big box stores run into that problem where they get
I
counterfeit
would
batteries?
hope not.
Yeah.
If anything, I want to feel safe if I'm going to Home Depot and paying this
Right.
much money for a
Right.
battery. I hope they sourced it from wherever our real batteries are coming from. I'm more nervous of ordering it off Amazon or eBay or anything like that, right?
Yeah. Well, eBay for sure. Like, I don't think you can buy batteries on eBay.
Yeah.
I can't unless it's you're buying it from Home Depot on eBay or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't. I don't think you can trust eBay for batteries at all.
Yeah.
Amazon,
At least they
uh,
have the return warranty, but the problem
for
is
sure.
you might not even know
No,
it's
for
a
sure.
fake battery when you get
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
just it doesn't
Yeah.
hold a charge.
Doesn't last as long, and it
Yeah.
goes for a while, and then
Yeah.
in a year it gives up the ghost because they're terrible batteries, right?
Correct.
From that standpoint, yeah. No, all good stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Joe mentions Tractor Supply Atwoods. Yeah, we have Tractor Supply here. So, Joe, that would be the equivalent. Tractor Supply and Atwoods. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tractor Supply is interesting. That is an interesting place. It's kind of where like Home Depot meets the farm, and you can get like chicken feeders, and you can get like that's where I got my 3 foot fire pit ring. It's just a one of those metal rings you'd throw out there and put feed in for or whatever for the cows. And so Tractor Supply. So it's in Omaha, a little out of place, not a lot of farming directly in the Omaha area. There's a lot south, but yeah, you go to Tractor Supply, you can get electric fences there, like chicken fences or like goat fences kind of thing. Joe says we don't have Menards in the deep south. The closest one is in St. Louis. Yeah, Menards is Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, some Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like a
So
farm show called Equip Expo. We were told we should really go to one day. Where all the
really,
robot lawnmowers and stuff, but apparently it's huge. They have concerts, it's in
wow.
October in Kentucky. That's right. Yeah, in October.
Oh,
And they said,
what's it
yeah,
called again?
Equip Expo. It would be
Okay.
equipexposition.com. And yeah, if you're looking for like robot lawnmowers and stuff, this is apparently one of the shows you go to play with some farming equipment.
I tell you what, I was watching. There's a farmer in Iowa that I watch on YouTube, and it's been so wet out here this summer. They haven't gotten into the fields to spray, and so he's been talking about it, and he was like, I think he goes, I got a buddy who's got a drone sprayer, and he goes, I don't trust the crop dusters because they just they just put stuff all over the place. He goes, but the drone sprayers, they're actually pretty good. And so, like, think about that. That's a kind of a fill that thing up, set it and forget it, get it out there, let it run its thing, and you
And
know,
when you start looking at things like that, like you start getting into the smart side of it, where it will probably be more efficient because it will spray it in patterns and know where it's sprayed
yeah,
instead of just dropping things all over your field,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The tech that's in this farming gear is no joke.
I know.
Like
I
you
know.
you get a tractor out there, it knows exactly where it's been. The sprayers are enabled so that it knows what it's sprayed, and if it thinks it sprayed it before, it shuts off the nozzles to just that area it's already sprayed, and
Yep.
so you don't get overspray. That's kind of crazy. Pest says Menards here in Ohio. Yeah, I think Ohio as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Michigan too. That might be in Michigan. I bet they are. Menards is ultra cheap.
Yeah, we have something similar called Princess Auto up here. You get some ultra cheap stuff, but every now and then they get like a brand name something in there,
Yeah,
and it's on a really good price. Like they'll have some DeWalt tool at a ridiculous price that they're just clearing out. I don't know if they just got a stock of it somewhere or
I
something,
know.
or
I know. Don't you
like
have? Is it Canadian Tire? Is that another?
Canadian Tires. Yeah, like it's also a cheap place. They have their own brands and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but there
But it's
are.
more than a tire place, right? They sell other things there. Like in Canada, it seems like the tire stores sell more than tires, right?
Yeah. They have shops at the side, but then you go inside and they have all their gardening and all the other tools and everything there. But they also have like home stuff, and I think they were going to get into groceries at one point, but pulled back on that. But yeah.
It's like Tim Hortons. They need to get into groceries.
Oh my god, yeah. Tim Hortons is expanding into lunch and dinner now. Next thing
Really?
they'll have groceries. Yeah, like you can go to Tim
man.
Hortons any time of the day now and get like coffee, a sandwich, or chili or something, pizza. Yeah,
Love me some Tim Hortons. Yeah. It's like on every street corner.
yes, yeah.
We thought Starbucks was going to get that bad. It's really pared back here in the U.S. Starbucks is kind of it. I think it's had its moment in a $7 coffee or a $9 coffee is a little.
Yeah,
I think Americans are having a trouble stomaching that much for.
Even
My Nespresso pods went up. I've been doing Nespresso coffee for a lot of years.
Same here.
And I think those pods were like $1 or maybe $1.20 when I started, and now they're like $1.50, $1.75 for those things. I'm like, geez.
Well, even Tim Hortons coffee, like they just keep raising the price. I stopped going there because of my Nespresso, but I think a large coffee from them is now like $2.15, $2.20 or something like that. Yeah. Whereas like a number of years I was paying $1.56 for the same cup. So
we got Jura, Jira, coffee makers at work. They're like, I think they're European. Let me look here. And so up on my floor, which is awesome. Yeah, Jira. No, that's not true. Jira is the software.
Yeah, that reminds me of like the Kanban or something like that.
Yeah, no, this is hold on, let me put coffee in here. Coffee. Sorry, Jura, Jura is the way they're fully automatic. They're fully automatic coffee machines, and literally you can have it make. They have milk reservoirs, right? That you can, so every morning our support team comes in and fills them up with, fresh cold milk. And I bet there's 30 different coffees they'll make. They'll make you a latte. They'll make you a macchiato. They'll make you just coffee. They can do pots of coffee, fresh ground. They got the beans right there. They grind them up for you. Man, am I spoiled now. Like I just, I go in, I don't make anything here. I just wait till I go in, and then I get a couple cups of coffee. They stock creamers in the there's a fridge in that area. And so we don't get the stale creamers that have been sitting there for 6 or 7 months, right? These are fresh in the fridge. They're replacing them all the time. Lately, they've been stocking it with Irish cream, which is like Bailey's, right? I mean, without the alcohol. And so I've been making Bailey's coffee or Irish cream coffees. And I'm so spoiled at work. It's ridiculous.
I've worked from home since the early 2000s, so I've never really had that experience. Like every now and then I go into the office for a meeting and I see what they put in there, and I'm like, well, you get free pop here, like you get free coffee here now. Like when I was last working in an office, we had to buy our own coffees and buy our own drinks,
Keurig or whatever. Right?
Yeah. They have a fridge there with free pop.
No free pop, but man, this Jura coffee is just their cheat machine, their E6 fully automatic espresso.
Yeah,
$2,000.
I know.
I know. Like you're like, geez.
I was at the Microsoft building in Toronto late last year, and they have baristas there making your coffees for you. So you just walk up and you tell them what you want, and then they mix it all up and everything. They say, "Have a good day," and it's all included. I was like, Really? Like,
Well, they are a $4 trillion company
yeah,
today, as of
yeah,
today, right?
yeah.
Joe says Seven Brew, which I haven't heard of before. Joe, Seven Brew. Have you, Gavin? You ever heard of them?
Never heard of Seven Brew. No.
Seven Brew. Let's see what he says. Seven Brew has exploded around here, much more popular than Starbucks.
Oh, they're a
We have
drive-through problem.
our local sorry, the ad is hilarious.
Yeah.
The Seven Brew reminds me of scooters. There's a coffee company that started here in Omaha, and they've blown up in this region called Scooters. And this Seven Brew reminds me of that. They're more known for their frappies and their shakes, basically. They're milkshakes for cold brew. Cold brew's interesting these days too.
That looks good too.
Cedar Rapids, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Okay, well, maybe we'll see a Seven Brew here in Omaha. Oh, well, now that I said that in Facebook, Seven Brew is finally coming to Omaha. Details on our news brief page. This was June 19th, so I guess we're getting a Seven Brew.
Oh, there's a lot of locations.
Yeah.
None in Canada. Yet.
No, Tim Hortons has got it wrapped up.
Yet.
Come on, the Tim Hortons mafia.
Tim Hortons is, I think it's a good time for another company like to come in. I think Starbucks got too expensive. I think people kind of got fed up of that, right? And I think, there's a spot. McDonald's, people been going over them for McDonald's coffee because of the price, and they say the quality is good too. They like their coffee. So, I think there's a spot for another chain.
Yeah. Dan says, I wonder what the cost per cup for that is. Dan, were you referring to Jura or what were you referring to? If it's cheaper, is it cheaper than Nespresso? Well, Tim Hortons, okay, let's think about Tim Hortons for a second. You said it's $2 something for a large.
And that's Canadian. Keep in mind that's Canadian.
Okay, what are you paying for your pods, for your Nespresso pods, do you think?
I always get them on a sale. I wait till they have a sale, and then I go and order a whole bunch where you get it for 30 free.
What do you think the unit price is on those?
Let me look it up. Okay. Let me do it from my Canadian computer.
He was referring to the Jura. Dan, that's a good question. Like for the frou-frou coffee that we get out of that Jura at work, I mean, we have two big, they're $20,000 machines, and they have milk, reservoirs. We have oat milk in one and whole milk in the other, and those things are running all day, and the employees know how to run them. So we never put baristas in front of them. We're just like, you can push buttons yourself. You guys are smart, right? And so you can go up and make your own. It's a really good question. Like when we first put them in, I drank so many lattes. I gained like 15 pounds. I was like, okay, settle down, whole milk guy, and then, so I cut it down to just coffee. Lately I've been putting a little creamer in there, but the coffee's just a straight coffee is really good. So yeah, what do you think?
The ones I like to buy are about $1.29 per capsule, Canadian.
Oh, that's not bad,
right?
That's actually pretty cheap. You're getting them cheap.
Well, that's probably not the more expensive brand because they're all different prices. So, like the Vivita capsule is $1.55 per capsule.
Are yours round or are yours the
round?
Okay, you're using the round, right?
Yeah. Let me see what the most expensive one on here is.
Because I get the double espressos for my lattes, and then I get like the chocolate and the hazelnut and whatever coffees for if I want 7 or 8 ounces. Okay, let's say US dollars. Those 7 ounces of coffee is, let's say it's $1.50 on the espresso side of things. If I were to get that at Starbucks, it'd probably be $3, but I'd get 12 ounces.
Yeah. The most expensive one on here right now, they call it blend number 1, is $1.85 per capsule.
Okay. Yeah.
Canadian. So you're looking at like $1.50, $1.30.
This is like the show with Mark where we get hungry. This is you get thirsty.
Yeah.
Like, man, why am I craving coffee?
If it wasn't so late, I'd make another coffee right now.
I never go to sleep.
Yeah, but I always buy them on sale, so I get them for
Where
better
do you get
price.
them on sale for? Like what?
Nespresso. Just sign up for
Really?
their
Okay.
their
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and they
Oh,
constantly
yeah.
have
But you got to buy
deals.
like 12 at a time to do it
And
that
that's what
way,
I
right?
do, you
Okay.
know. And if after, and sometimes I'll split it with my neighbor. I'll say, "Do you need any
Okay.
coffee?" And
Oh,
it's
that's a
like,
good
"All right, I'm
idea.
getting this, and we're gonna get 3 extra boxes and split it." So
Oh,
you save money that way.
yeah, I always go for the free shipping. And I guess on 12 you get free shipping as well.
Well, over $75, you get free
Yeah.
shipping for
Yeah.
ours. So
We're
yes,
worth cheaper than that. I think we're 35.
yeah.
$35 you get.
So I get the free shipping, I get the discounts, and sometimes they throw in like buy this many and you'll get like a frother. And my neighbor needed a frother, so we put in an order and got her a free
Oh,
frother.
it says log in on for free shipping over 50 now.
Oh, see, prices are going up. That's the tariffs.
Yeah. Do you mail your pods back in the bags that they give you? Or you just throw them
They
away?
stopped doing that.
Yeah.
What they do now is when you get delivery, you put your old pods out on front door, and
Yeah.
they'll take the old pods with them.
Oh,
So they'll
okay.
drop off the new pods, take the old pods, or if I go into
Oh,
the store, I just take the pods and drop them in the thing
okay.
there.
Okay.
Right? They give us the bags, but no more free shipping of the pods back to them.
I
It's kinda
still have
expensive.
bags with free shipping. I should
Yeah.
order like 12 of those so I've got them, just stockpile them because I know at some point they're going to stop doing it.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
stopped up here pretty quick. It didn't last long, I don't think.
must have been harder. Ours must be cheaper. I think it's UPS.
Yeah, and we had a bunch of postal strikes and stuff. It's just
Yeah. All right, friends. If you're listening live, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you guys staying with it. A long show this way, but it's always good to hang out with Gavin. So, Gavin, hang tight. If you're join us next week, I didn't even announce this. Aaron is joining us next week.
you did.
Did I?
Yeah,
Did I
last
say that?
week you said it, I think.
Last week I said it. Okay, I just didn't. I don't think I said it this week. I always like to try and give the. So Aaron's next week. This is 654. And then 655 with Aaron, Dr. Brian Freelander, 656, and then 657 with Jay Franzi's back. So it's always good to hang out with Jay. Live folks, thanks for coming out. We'll see you next Thursday, and Aaron will be here, and we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.